Hello, good morning children. Today we are going to start with a new lesson. The name of the lesson is Keeping Quiet. Before starting the lesson, my dear children, so we will go outside the classroom and we will see the condition of the world. So now, so do you feel that something is not well in the world, in the globe? So now this is the time of the pandemic, COVID-19. The school, colleges, universities are closed and the teachers are taking the online classes. Now all these things actually indicate what? This indicates that somewhere or other human being himself is responsible. So it was Mahatma Gandhi who said, he said well that nature has a lot of things to give you. Nature has a lot of things for your need, but it has less thing for your greed. But human being has crossed the limit of his greed, and because of that the nature seems to be imbalanced, and maybe this is the reason for which now we are suffering. We are now many times lockdown, total lockdown, partial lockdown. It is all because of what? It is all because of the greed of the human being, the busyness of the human being, his forgetfulness about his own purpose for which he was created. Therefore, my dear children, before starting this lesson, we will see this particular image. What does this image actually shows? This image you will see some children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 children. 7 days make a week. These 7 together are holding their hand, and then they are making a rope. That means this actually is indicative. This actually is suggestive of what thing? It is suggestive of the togetherness. It is togetherness. Therefore, before starting the lesson, it is better to know something about the writer, and we will come to know about Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is either the pen name or the pseudonym. So he was a Chilean writer, poet, diplomat, and also a political writer. Here what we notice in his writing, we will notice that the language are quite simple, but the language, particularly these words, are very much suggestive. And when we talk about his personal use of the green pen, so he used the green pen. The use of this green pen is symbolic. What does it symbolizes? So let us look at the nature. Nature is green in color. So this green actually is the personal symbol of the poet of hope and desire. That means in this poem we will see that the poet is a champion of peace. He actually talks about the hope in the midst of hopelessness. He sees the activities of the human being. He gets a lot of disappointment, and therefore he gives us a message. The message is that we need to stop many of the things that will talk what are the things that we need to stop. You have already understood what is the thing that is to be stopped in order to give the chance to peace to prevail in this face of the earth. Now, my dear children, so it was Pablo Neruda. He got the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1971. In the year 1971, he got the Nobel Prize for Literature. Therefore, this name is very important. When the extract question will be asked in CBSE final examination, then from the extract you will be asked the question, where does this line occur, or where do these lines occur? Then you will have to tell the name of the poem. Then you will also be asked what is the name of the poet. Then you will have to tell the name of the poet is Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda. Therefore, my dear children, first we will see the title. What does this title indicate? So, this title. So, first we will see the title, Keeping Quiet, Q-U-I-T-E. You see, both these sound quite. Sound are similar, but meaning is totally different. This one Q-U-I-T-E, quite means complete, full. This quite means C-A-L-M, calm. This quite means peacefulness, P-E-A-C-E, peacefulness. Therefore, the poet who was the champion of peace, he wanted one thing from all the people on the face of the earth. What is that? Just to maintain silence. So, when you are keeping silence, when you are maintaining silence, what will be the result? So, as you know, every action has equal and opposite reaction. Therefore, when you are keeping quiet, this is very much productive. So, this is a very much productive. What it will produce? It will produce what? The peace of mind. It will produce the peace of mind. So, it will also give you the opportunity of soul searching. Means what you have done to do the nature, what you have done to your fellow being, what you have done to your neighbor, all this picture will come to us, come to the limelight when we indulge in introspection. Now, my dear children, one of the appeal of the poet was that we will have to do in this poem two things. One is introspection, another one is retrospection. Now, one introspection means you are looking deeper into your mind. So, this is one of the method of the meditation. Means you are to meditate, you are to reflect, you are to think, you are to search your soul as to what is your duty, what you are doing, what you need to do. And then retrospection means looking back to the past in a very deliberate manner, and from there we are learning what are the measures to be taken for future. Therefore, my dear children, the title Keeping Quiet is a suggestive, or it suggests that silence is very much productive, and it brings or usher in peace and tranquility on the face of the earth. Therefore, peace should be given a chance on this face of the earth just by taking one initiative of keeping silence. So, now let us proceed. My dear children, in this poem, we will see a lot of things here. We will also remind the poetic devices also. We will also learn the poetic devices. Till now we have learnt a lot of poetic devices in this in the poems. Here in this poem we will see, but certainly we will see some of the similarity of the sound. Now, can you recall? So, what is the name of the poetic device when there is the similarity of the sounds? So, when there is a similarity of the consonant sound, then it is called the alliteration. It is called alliteration. 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 When there is a vowel sound, then it is called assonance. When two successive lines start with the same word, then we call it anaphora. So, we will keep this in mind, these poetic devices. While we explain, we will tell about this use of this poetic devices, so that we can appreciate the poem, we can understand the poem, and we can also enjoy it and also understand it. Now, let us start with the first stanza of the poem. So, this first stanza tells, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Here you see in the beginning of the poem, the poet makes an appeal. Now, we will count to 12, means all are together, and therefore, he is giving a suggestion or the proposal. So, this is the suggestion or the proposal or the suggestion. Normally, this proposal or suggestion starts with let in the sentence. Here the pattern is little different. Now, we will count, means he is giving the indirect proposal that it is better for all the people of the earth to count to 12, and all of us will be quiet. All of us will be quiet. Still means will be very much calm. Now, let us see, my dear children. So, why the poet actually talks about 12? So, this 12 may be the 12 hours of the day. This may be the 12 hours of the clock. This may be the complete circle. Means the poet appeals to the people to maintain silence, and once you will start, then he will have to maintain silence for the complete circle, so that something can be achieved So, what will be achieved, that we will see. For once on the face of the earth, let us not speak in any language, let us stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So, we are talking about this particular poetic device. The name of the device was anaphora. So, you will see that these two lines, two successive line, this line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, they are starting with letters. Therefore, this particular figure of speech is called anaphora. So, now what is the total message that the writer, the poet wanted to give? So, he was telling that speech is silver, but silence is golden. Silence is very dear, silence is golden, speech is silver, and therefore what we need to do, we need to keep silence. We will be talking no language. In this world, you will see there are so many, so variety, so many type of language in this world, and for a particular second we now have decided, we made up our mind not to speak in any language, and more particularly we will be keeping motionless, we will be standing motionless, so that peace can be maintained on this face of the earth. Therefore, in this part of the poet appeal to the people to maintain peace on the face of the earth. For that, what we need to do? We need to keep silence. Then let us see the next parts. It would be an exotic moment without a rush, without an engine. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Let us see these two words. It would be an exotic moment. Now, my dear children, you just recall the month of January and February, when there is a total lockdown, and because of this lockdown, what exactly happened? Life was totally paralyzed. You cannot see any human being on the street, and this thing never happened in the history of human life, and therefore exotic means unprecedented. Unprecedented. So that means this never happened. This never happened earlier. So what is that? So what is unprecedented or precedented? Or what never happened in the history? The total silence never happened, because when there will be total lockdown, when there will be complete shutdown, when the people will be together, then there will be no movement, no sound of the engine. There will be no buses, no trains in the road, and all the people will be together, and in their togetherness they will speak no language. Is it not something very exotic? Is it not something very unusual? Is it not something very new? Therefore, this is the imagined condition. The poet Pablo Neruda imagined a particular condition where all the people of this earth will stop any activity, whether it is the diver, whether it is the other professionals, whether it is a scientist or other, all the people will come together and they will be standing together and they will not make any movement of their hand or limbs. So, they will be standing together, and in this way they will be trying to restore the peace on the face of this earth. Now, my dear children, so the poet will be giving some examples from the daily life, just to tell what the people should do. Let us see the lines. Fisherman into the cold sea would not harm wells, and the man gathering salt would look at his hard hands. So, this is the indirect message that we have done a lot of damage to nature. So, we will go to the lines. Okay, we will see the meaning one by one, line by line. But the general meaning here is that we have done a lot of damage, we have done a lot of harm to the nature just by exploring, finding out or extracting the resources of nature. Whether you talk about the wild, whether you talk about the fishes, whether we talk about any kind of thing that is needed for human being, we have done a lot of things. We have exploited the nature a lot, and therefore, for the time being, what the poet tells? The poet appeals that the fisherman will not go fishing, and the cold sea will become, and the fishes also will have the peace of mind, and they can also prolong their life on the face of the earth. The man who is gathering the salt in the sea also would get the chance of looking at in his own hand, which is already wounded. Therefore, there are manifold meaning of this togetherness, of this get together of the human being here. One is that human being will get the peace of mind. Other, the nature also will get the chance of revival, get the chance of recovery. Therefore, my dear children, let us proceed. Those who prepare green words, war with the gas, war with the fire, victory with no survivor, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shelter doing nothing. Many times what happen, people misunderstand each other, misunderstand the words or the expressions. So here also the poet told that what I told should not be misunderstood. So he was telling toward the end of this stranger, the poet was telling, people will do nothing. People will do nothing. So this thing will take into consideration. If he told that for the time being, people will be silent and will not move anywhere, they will not move anywhere, and they will do nothing. But this is not the permanent measure, this is not forever, and therefore this term is not to be misunderstood by the people. Now, the message to the people here is, you see, those who prepare green words with the gas, war with the fire, victory with no survivor. Survivor means what? Survivor is coming from survive, S-U-R-V-I-V is survive. Survive means outlive any disaster, outlive any disaster. Supposing you are going to the sea, and in the sea there is a storm or the hurricane, then suppose the ship or the boat sinks and you are swimming and swimming, so you are about to be drowned, and many people have the casualties, and you survive, you outlive the disaster. So this is called the survivor. Now the poet tells that he is giving the message to the people, he is giving the message to those expansionists whose motto is to expand their territory. He is telling that you need not those people who are preparing war of any kind. It may be the war with gas, war with fire. It may be green war. This green war is the biological war. War with a gas is atomic war, and in this way, whether it is a war with a fire, war with the green items, or war with the gas, there will be no survivor. You cannot enjoy your victory, because there will remain no survivor. Nobody will survive the war. Therefore, the poet, as he is the champion of peace, he appeals to the people that under no circumstance you should start any war. If you start war, then everybody will be sufferer. Everybody will be sufferer. Therefore, what is his appeal? He tells that he appeals to the people that they would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shelter doing nothing. Now see, putting on clean clothes. Literally speaking, it may be the clean clothes, new clothes, or clean clothes. But here the meaning is suggestive meaning. The meaning here is adopting a new approach. Adopting a new approach. So the writer, the poet appeals that we need to have a better approach, a new approach that we did not have, that did not prevail in our mind earlier, that did not occur in our mind earlier, and we will be walking with our friends, because all the people on the face of the earth are brothers, brothers, and therefore we should not wage any war against them, and will do nothing. So when we are silent, then we can understand humanity, we can understand brotherhood, we can give a chance to peace to prevail. Therefore, let us see this next part, next stanza. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. My dear children, you see, the writer is now clearing the doubt. So he is telling that, so when I am talking, doing nothing, that exactly doesn't mean total inactivity. Means we should not be passive. We should of course be very active. We should be very active, but we have to see that our humanity is intact, our brotherhood is intact, other people are not harmed, the nature is intact, so that when nature will be alive, then only we can live further. Therefore, the poet clears the doubt that what I suggested earlier, that should not be equaled, that should not be likened or compared to total inactivity. I suppose you understood it. Therefore, let us continue. Let us see the next part. Life is what it is about. So now he is giving the definition of life. Life means action. Life means movement. Life doesn't mean inactivity or inaction. Therefore, he tells that life means full exuberance. Therefore, life is of course activity, and what I do not want, I do not want track with death. I do not want to have a compromise with death. So what is the meaning? What is the meaning that the writer wanted to tell here? The poet wanted to tell that. So when you will be starting war, any kind of war, biological war, atomic war, or any kind of war, that will have the impact of killing lot of people, and they will have to be transported or carried into the truck laden with the dead bodies. Therefore, that is the picture that the poet did not want to see, and therefore he said that I do not want to track or compromise. I do not want to have a rapport or understanding with the death, because as soon as we will be starting with the war, then the death will be getting a chance to kill each other. Let us see this next part. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Now, my dear children, let us see. So, the action here, you see, what is the action? Action here is understanding. Understanding. If you understand, then it is a better for everybody. Whether you talk about nature, whether you talk about a human being, flora and fauna, all the biodiversity, it will be better for all. Therefore the poet tells that if we understand each other, it is better. If we do not understand, then what will happen? The reaction will be the threatening. So what will be the threaten? Means our life will be no more. Means the doomsday will come, life will come to an end, and the mistake will be committed by nobody else than we ourselves. Therefore, let us see the meaning in details now. If we are not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, so you know the conditional sentence. So the condition is that if we are not very much single-minded, if we are not very much decided, determined, very much fixed, if we do not make up our mind about keeping our life going or moving, if we do not do that, then what will happen? For once, if we do not do anything or if we do not keep silence, then the result will be very disastrous. The result will be very much painful for us, because the earth will give us a threatening of annihilating or destroying the life on the face of the earth. That means the effect or the result, the consequence will be very harmful for humanity, and therefore, humanity, for the sake of the continuance of human life, we need to be together, we need to have amity or the friendship, we need to have the brotherhood among ourselves. Now, let us see, he is giving some examples, a very beautiful example he has given, and that too the example of the earth. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. So, you will remember the lines, if a winter comes, can spring be far behind? So, if something unexpected come, the better things may come to us on the basis of our action, Certainly, the better day will come if we act better. Therefore, the poet actually now is giving the example of the earth. So, you have seen this picture. You have seen this picture of, you see this picture of the lady with the lamb. This is the symbol of the mother, and this is similar to the symbol of the earth. So, there is the light in our hand. That means the appeal is that peace be given a chance, light be given a chance, and darkness should be bidden goodbye. Therefore, let us see this part. Now, earth is the better example for human being. So, what is it that in the earth you will see that during the monsoon or other time. So, the seeds of the tree, they are at the mercy of the wind, and they travel from one place to another, and they are buried inside the earth. And during the monsoon time, what happens, slowly and gradually it sprout into the sapling or the plant. So, in the similar manner, the poet is of the opinion that our silence also, will be just like the seeds that are buried underground. A seed which is buried underground, as it comes to life, in the similar manner that the silence will also be productive. It will produce, it will give the chance of producing peace, harmony, tranquility on the face of earth by recognizing the brotherhood and amity among people. Therefore, the poet once again tells that we can learn the better example from the earth, because on the earth seeds are buried, and everything seems to be very dead, but at the times what happen, it proves that it has life, it comes to life. Therefore, once again the poet is repeating the line, now I will count up to 12 and you will keep quiet and I will go. So, the poet once again is appealing to the people. What is the appeal? Appeal is to keep quiet. What he will do? He will be counting to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ... 11, 12. And then all the people on the face of the earth will have to keep silence, and just by keeping silence, they can restore peace on the face of the earth. They can retain the personal relationship. They can have the better understanding of each other, If we do that, then there will be no word and we can have a better life with happiness and joy. So, this is the end of the poem, my dear children, and towards the end I will be discussing only one question here. Let us see this question. So, this sort of question also you will have to write in your notebook, and more particularly you will find this sort of question in the exam too. So, now we will count to 12 and we will keep still. So, my dear children, the questions are like this: name the poem and the poet of these lines. The name of the poet is Keeping Quiet, full stop. The name of the poet is Pablo Neruda. Why does the poet ask us to count to 12? There are only 12 signs on the clock to measure hour. Therefore, the poet asks us to count till the clock measure these hours. The poet is appealing that we will have to keep silence, and he will be counting the full circle, and that is the deadline, and up to that deadline the people have to be very silent, so that peace can be given a chance. Find word for the process which mean say number, quiet and motionless. Say number means count, quiet and motionless still. My dear children, so the question may be, tell the figure of speech, tell the name of the figure of speech that is used in this line. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. So, what is the sound that is repeated here? The sound W sound, W sound, W sound, W sound. So, W sound is repeated 4 times. Therefore, W is a consonant. Therefore, the figure of speech here will be alliteration. So, in this way we can prepare and we can get the full mark in the poems. My dear children, this is the end of the lesson. I hope you understood it, and will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.